So we've been studying positive and negative space, and as you can see, this is an example of the positive and negative space where the positive here is the object, which is the white area, and this resembles a horse or a donkey, and then the negative space is not the object, so the things around the objects, and sometimes we also call it the background. This was made using Pixlr, the web-based software, and I'm going to do a demonstration on how to create an image like this. So first I'll access my web, pixlr.com, and that will bring up the Pixlr site. When I scroll down, I will find the Pixlr editor and launch that web app. After the web app is launched, I will create a new image and I will title it in the naming convention. The class, the period, the name, the assignment, and the year, the month, and then the day. And then I have the canvas and the space to work with. I'm going to go up to Layer, Open Image as a Layer, and from my desktop I will go ahead and access the Notan folder, but before I do that I actually need my inspiration. So my inspiration is in my wedding slideshow, so I'm going to go ahead and open that. And I want to look at the images so I can browse through the images, and I'm looking for the one that actually says horse on it. So I'm looking for the picture of the horse. I'm going to find it right here. So here's my horse. I'll go ahead and open it. Now that horse is on a new layer. You can see it over here. It says Layer 1. I'll go up to Edit, Free Transform, and I will drag from the corner to constrain some of the proportions. Click off, and then I want to apply the changes, so I say yes. You want to make sure that you are always painting on the background, so I have to make sure that I'm clicked on the background, and then from here I'm going to go ahead and take the bucket and make sure it's black. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill in the background so it's all black. So you can see behind it looks black. Then I'll go up to my paintbrush. I want to change the paintbrush size so it's a little bit smaller to say 9. And then from here I also want to make sure that I have chosen white. So you can see here I have white instead of black. I want to make sure again I'm on the background. I am going to be drawing on the background. And then I'll go ahead and put my paintbrush right along the edge and I will outline the object, which is the positive space. It's okay if I pick up my paintbrush and I click a couple times, because what I'm actually doing is I'm going to go ahead and I'm painting with white. And if I want to check and see if everything's okay, I can go ahead and I can uncheck the box here to turn off my picture to see how I'm doing. I think I'm doing okay here. Now, this is the tricky spot. You might be tempted to go and trace the whole head. We're just going to trace the very outline of the horse. So it's just this object, so we can create that positive negative space of the illusion and keep it balanced. So as I'm going around the outside, you see I'm going slowly and carefully to get all of the curvature and the outside of the horse. I'm not going to cross over. I'm just going to stay on the outside. And then as I come to the end, I'm very careful here. I want to make sure that the hind legs are much smaller than the forelegs because it's more in the background, so it shows that perspective. Good, let's see how I did over here. I'm going to uncheck it. It's great. I love that. So now I'm going to go back over to the paint bucket, and I'm going to make sure that I have it white, which I do, and I'll click right into the center, and that'll turn it white. Now, in the picture that you saw before, I also had the fence I'm going to make sure that I'm on the background again, but this time I'm going to use the pencil tool, Sketchy, in the size 1. I'm going to turn back on my photo for reference, and here I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sketch that pole. Now I like the sketchy texture. It makes it more interesting, a little more variety in my image, and a little more playful. So this is, you know, an animal picture, and I want it to have some playfulness. Let's go ahead and see how that looks here. I'm going to turn that picture off. Oh, I like that. Okay. And I want it a little bit more at the top here. Then from here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay in the wires and see if I like that. See how those wires are looking? Oh, it's looking good. All right, let's go over here and here. And then I have, let's see if I like that again for the sketch tool. Good. And then here, I'll do that nice long wire here. And I just have one more wire, just going nice and slow. See how that looks? Good. Now I could also choose to do the background. So I have the horse, that's the positive space. The wires are also the object, that's the positive space. The black is the negative space in between. And then I could go ahead and look at the middle ground here and the very, very background. And I'm going to choose to go through here, and just in that mid background area I'm going to put in a little more information, and I'm going to allow my cursor to kind of go around because I want it to be nice and sketchy. So I'm creating a little more interest, and there you go. So you can see from the original that I had before, here we go, that it's very similar. So I kind of duplicated, it's a little bit different here and a little bit different here, but overall it's successful. And then I want to make sure that I save it. So when I go up to the file and I hit the save, I have some options. So if I'm all done with it and I don't want to change it, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save it in the JPEG. But you do have the option to save it as the PXD layered image. So if I want to come back later and I want to work on this because I'm not finished or I want to add, I want to save it as the PXD. But I'm happy with my image, so I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to hit OK. And this is going to go into my wedding slideshow, and I'm going to say, that's fine. I'll go ahead and save it there, and it's going to go onto my computer. And that is how you create a negative, positive space, black and white, high contrast digital image in Pixlr. Thanks for watching.